It is Thursday. It is from the barracks. All right, this background is just not doing it for me. I don't know about you.
That is so weird. I keep waiting for a face to just push out of it or something. How dare you try to be different, sir? Go back to the tried and true.
I'm Joker for Players Wanted. With me is the man with the mohawk, the high kappas, Virtue from Crucible, because he still hasn't given me the next company to pitch for him. So he shall always be Virtue from Crucible. All right, guys. Actually, wait, hold on. I got it. Everybody,
If you say the artist formerly from Crucible, I'm going to kick you.
I'm Joker from Big House Milsim. With me is the man with the mohawk, the king of the high kappas, Virtue from Big House Milsim. How's everybody doing tonight? There we go. What's up, Paul? Yo. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about Geigerlands tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Scorched Earth, the plans that we have for both the things. This is a great question and answer period. So if you guys have questions, now's the time to send them over to us so we can help answer them and get you guys the answers that you're looking for, so we can start talking about this event. But first and foremost, what I want to do is go ahead and share the promo code to get you an extra $10 off Geigerlands. So Geigerlands is going to be August 26th to the 28th at the Crescent Prison. You get to camp out on site for free. You at 2:00 is pretty much just 2:00 Friday. As soon as you walk through the gates of Geigerlands, you can start role playing and doing what you guys need to, setting up your encampments and all that. Boffer weapons be allowed, but no airsoft weapons be allowed on the field. So you guys can actually get things moving a little bit more. And before you all go off and say that, well, melee weapons aren't that much fun, I beg to differ.
Go ahead. You want to.
What's that?
Go ahead and roll it. I know you want to.
Where is it? Oh shit! I'll do this one because this one's funny.
What's good?
What, down there?
I don't know. Are you alive?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Are you in?
Uh-huh.
No, not bad. Oh no. Wow.
Going around and melee killing people is a hell of a lot of fun. I was at Bad Blood and I did a huge. I think I had 53 knife kills on. I have over 100 for the day. So melee kills can be a lot of fun, especially if other people have melee weapons, and all of a sudden there's like a little bit of a. I'm a Nukalanda player. I've seen some melee fires do work. Exactly. Let me open up I think they're on the Geigerlands page. So if you've been to Nukalanda, it's something that's very going to be similar. We're going to be doing something very similar at the Crescent Prison up in Crescent, Pennsylvania, where you guys can. It's going to be an airsoft event. There'll be boffer weapons involved. Some people are bringing Nerf weapons. I think Christian put some rules in there for that. You can build your character just like you can in Nukalanta. So if you're like that sort of style of play, come on up. It's a limited ammo event, limited resource event for the stuff that we plan to do for that. So sorry, I'm just getting that Geigerlands group page up and running because I think that's where he's from. Yeah. So when we see Facebook user, it's always because it's on one of the group pages here. So if you have any questions about the events and the stuff that we're doing, James Bass. Sorry that. Yeah. So when we see
crap.
Facebook user, it's questions about the events and the stuff that we're doing. Yeah. All right. There, that's muted, so I can at least see chat now. I did not say unlimited.
No.
I said limited. No problem, Smurf. We got this. And as you all can see, we're back on all channels again when it comes to Facebook. So I still can't believe I was zucked like that. Um, so with that being said, Geigerlands is definitely going to be. Um, where'd that one come from? Anyone say I had a great time last weekend?
Let me
Probably
check
Big
my
House.
page.
It's probably Big House Milsim. Go there too. Sorry, guys. Milsim community. Yeah, I know. Are you on the Big House Milsim page? Zach, Ham. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, I had a great time. I had a great time. Just straight up night, just the melee kills that I got. Um, and the reason why I did that mostly the switch over to melee as opposed to sticking with a rifle or anything was because of the heat casualties that we had. So we've put some things in place for Geigerlands to ensure that we don't have a similar issue. So we're gonna have water stations and everything else all over the place. So that way we can make sure that people stay
Got a
hydrated.
question on my Facebook. How much is a ticket?
Okay, that's an excellent question. So the ticket costs right now online are $110. However, we have a promo code that we've been given that we can now give out, which is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but here I'll share it up there. You can either click the link, um, or if you see at the very end it says PWA Stream 213, that's the promo code that you guys could put in to get $10 off. So the ticket's only $100. You get to camp out on the AO inside of some of the buildings, or you can set up your own little encampment and all that. You can do all that. Cooling vest, you don't have one. They're a lifesaver. Yeah. So I want to address this real quick because this is obviously something that we're going to be having it. This is from Zach again. Oh, we're going to be having an event in August. That's still summertime. Now, I think the Crescent, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Sin, but I think that that's higher elevation than even EMR.
Yeah, it is.
So we have higher elevation, so it should be cooler. With
It,
that being said, go ahead.
I was saying, in theory, it should be cooler, but there's a lot of depending circumstances like cloud cover, the actual temp and actual humidity, whether or not it rains the couple of days before.
Yeah,
There's a lot. Either way, it's most people don't realize it's actually easier to get dehydrated in cold weather than it is in hot weather. Either way, you should be hydrating and having the water with you. All right, guys, I'm getting all these messages. So anybody that's on the Facebook group or the people that private messaging me, hop on over to the YouTube channel so we can actually see who you are popping up over here, and we'll answer your questions.
I might have to get a cooling vest for the next time that I do that.
I have a cooling vest I got off of Amazon. Really? It didn't work? Dude, I am skeptical when somebody tells me they bought gear off of Amazon.
So I'm hearing oxygen bar and water cooler checkpoints. Zach.
Hey, man, if you've got the equipment to set up an oxygen bar, go for it. Give oxygen for caps.
Hold on. Let's make sure Lauren's okay with that first.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. For caps, I mean, you can't take real money.
Here's a great question. How large is the AO? The AO that we're going to be using is 35 acres. Let me just go ahead and pull up. Let me go up and pull up the screen here real quick.
To the map.
To the map, good sir. To the map. Why is my computer? Oh, there we go. You know, we get asked this all the time about the size of the map and all that, and figure we already have it up before we do this, but no. All right, let me get it all zoomed in nice and tight so y'all can see this. All right, so I'm going to share the screen here. All right, so this is the size of the map. So it's 35 acres inside the wire. All right. So the majority of these buildings we have access to and can play in. Right now, what's off limits is, which will always be off limits, is 3. That's the chapel. These 2 portable buildings right here, that's G and that's H. Those are off limits. Building 1, off limits. 9 and 10 are in play. But building 1's off limits. Building 2 is our admin building. Now for sleep, and building F is technically off limits for anybody that's not a part of Asylum. The reason being is Asylum need this because they're going to be in power armor and everything else, and they need to be able to move around, and have a essentially a green room, if you would. So let's do it that way. All right. So when it comes down to, let's rearrange this. There we go. Make it. I know. I'm making this. I'm making this look right. So, the buildings for camping are 7, 8, D, J, Echo. They're talking about opening up Bravo for us just for camping, which means it's got to be cleaned. No gameplay going on inside of Bravo whatsoever. So we're in discussions about that. But 5, 6, 26I, and 4, you can't camp out in those. We need those for essentially some gameplay stuff and all that. You cannot camp out in C or A, but they're in play during the game. We just don't want people sleeping in it. Those are the oldest buildings, and it's one of those things of a better safe than sorry scenario. I don't leave my house without the clean vest. All right, who said want some? All right, so and in 9, this very last bay in 9 is off limits. The paint shop. There's no camping out or doing anything like that. But Kilo's in play, which is like the minimum security housing unit that was there. Jay's there. There's a little hut right here, which people can use as for some things. So 11's like the guardhouse. So there's stuff all across the field that you guys can use and utilize. Over here in the baseball field area, this is going to be a gigantic safe zone because that's where the food truck's going to be. So we'll be setting up certain spots where there's going to be safe zones where people can't fire into because we're going to set vendors up there. So there might be a vendor up here, up in this area by 8, right here on this nice padded area. We might turn that into the vendor area, so people have to go to see them to buy. Like for when we talk about vendors, we're talking about real vendors for real cash. As it stands right now, we have Jackal Tactical confirmed. We have On the Go Surplus confirmed. Amped Airsoft should be there, and there might be a couple other companies out there as well. There also might be a couple of vendors inside of building 2. I know that's where I'm going to put some my stuff, like the patches and stuff, for sale because I don't want it out here. So this is pretty much the large scale AO, and it's a lot bigger than it appears in this map. I mean, walking this AO, you're like, whew. I can tell you right now, though, Echo is where the casino and club are going to be. So when we do this, it's a casino for caps. That's an in-game casino because some people were like, "Are we going to be? We're going to be betting and stuff." No, not really, not for real. So there will be some boffer weapon fights. But I do want to talk about Jackal for a second. He invested in a crap ton of foam weapons, and some of those foam weapons look sick as hell. To where Sin and I are both like eyeballing each other and says, "I'm getting that chainsword."
Right.
So
somebody did come up with an interesting game for the nightclub, by the way, for the tables. Because I was just going to have like poker for caps. We're actually going to have a Russian roulette table with a hater.
not after 6 o'clock or not. So it's going to be, it's a large AR, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of cool stuff done on it. I have a halberd. That'll work as long as it's foam and it passed the inspection. You should be fine. Anything that you guys get from Jackal Tactical should work for the field. All right.
Sorry, all I can see now in my head is Robert trying to hide in a bush with a giant pole arm sticking up.
Stillwell, I see you over there. Nuh-uh. I'm in camo. Your helper's like 5 feet above your head, dude. We can see you clear as day. Um, but when it comes to this one, we really are trying to bring you guys a unique experience that you guys haven't experienced before, um, or at least bring you something fun and entertainment, even if you have. Hiding what's that? He's got a minigun. He's got two miniguns. He doesn't hide.
Yes, and I. Another question just came in on my Facebook. Minimum age.
16. And unfortunately, that's not us. That's the location for the insurance that they currently have. They're not allowing anybody under the age of 16. In fact, we get a little bit of special treatment because typically they don't let anybody under the age of 18 there. So we get a little bit of special treatment. However, yeah, why can't I see your stuff? It's coming through your Facebook?
Uh,
Or is it
I'm
coming
getting
through
private
Twitter?
message.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
getting message.
Where are the
Robert
rules?
Stillwell's commenting on mine.
Yo,
He's
yo,
coming.
what's up,
Where
Star
are the
T?
rules?
The rules, that is another quick, easy questions for you. It's obhmilsim.com /rules. I'm getting them pulled up here for you guys right now. We actually have two versions of the rules. We have, obviously, our syndicate rules, and we have the Geigerland rules. There you go. Are you guys doing Geigerlands? Yes, we are, Tim. Geigerlands is the event that we're putting on, we're hosting for Exodus. We're not doing Exodus. Let's talk about that for a second, guys. Virtue and I have absolutely nothing to do with Operation Homeland Exodus. We are not working with Central Penn Milsim at all, even though the rules look very, very similar, if you catch my drift. Tim, you did? How old's your son? I thought we responded to everybody. So just to be clear, we have no involvement with Homeland Exodus. We're not going to talk about. We have no idea really what the game's about or anything else. Yeah, we have no involvement with Exodus. We are no longer. It's okay because I think it's time that we divulge some information again. Them rules are Siamese twins.
Yeah, it's
I'm
been
trying.
brought up.
Yeah, so the rules that are in question, the rules that are there, I'm just gonna go ahead and have to address and say it. He's 10. Tim, okay, unfortunately, it's 16 and up. We're hopefully that we can get it changed for maybe future events, but at this point in time, because of the insurance that we have and everything else, it is 16 and up. I I would love to be able to bring my son out there inside of his trailer so he can roll around and do stuff because this would be a perfect event for him. Unfortunately, we're limited by the insurance that is available for not for us. We can get insurance that goes lower for the event, but unfortunately, the actual site insurance says no. Um, we're hoping, Tim, that we can get a change for future events, but for this one, it was there. So going back to JD, yeah. So let's explain this a little bit. Right after Syndicate 2, Central Penn Milsim was fired from doing any events at the prison moving forward. There was a lot of issues that went down to it. At the time, we said, simply put, that it was due to the cleanup, which was a major problem. The site was left this disgusting mess, especially Building 1, which is why we no longer have access to Building 1. So Central Penn Milsim was fired. They were released from their contract and everything else to do the work. Christian Harris, Marley Brock, Virtue, and myself put a lot of time, energy, and creative material into making the rule sets for Syndicate and for Geigerlands and Scorched Earth. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying just to say it in the politest way possible.
The
But they
best
try
way
to
to
take
the best
our
way
they
to
try
put
to
it.
take our creative stuff. This one bothers me as somebody who designs board games with theft and plagiarism and everything else. You take my creative material and try to pass it off as your own. It sort of pisses me off a little bit because it's very unprofessional. The rules they have up there are because they took our alpha rules for Syndicate and copied them over with misspellings and the whole 9 yards. So they didn't even take the time to make the corrections to make the rules make sense. It was the first version of the Syndicate rules.
Yeah. Breathe, woosah. Long story short, guys, is Big House Produce, who owns the property and everything we did there, decided they were going to bring everything in house, and they started Big House Milsim, and they brought me, Joker, Christian, and Marley on board. So it's essentially the same crew that gave you the other events,
And
but
this
now
one's
we
going to be
work
with
for
yeah, and this one's
but
going to
now we
be
work for the property.
yeah, and there's going to be a lot less drama. There's going to be a lot less issues that go on that goes through there. Every single time that we've had an event, we've improved upon the previous. Um, it was incredibly disheartening to see some of the stuff that came out of it because we had such a great event for Syndicate. It was such a great, awesome event. We had such a good time, and then a few things really came out, and it was just bad. Um, no, dude, you know what, JD? I was actually in the process of typing up a response because you're not the first person to reach out. People thought that I was running the event or I had some sort of involvement. Now, I want everybody else to be crystal clear. Um, I want to be crystal clear when it comes down to like the stuff that we're doing here. What the hell? What? Oh, sorry. There was like on my Twitch on the Twitch thing. There's like some sort of thing. So,
That's about.
um, yeah, we have all sorts of cool stuff coming through and doing this. Uh,
I don't know who that is, but thank you, and I appreciate it.
so the people that run the site are the ones that have us doing doing the game for Geigerlands. This is actually our stuff. Um, so we didn't take anything from Central Penn Milsim. These are our creative stuffs. Okay. We're just gonna keep moving forward, and we're gonna keep having awesome events at this awesome AO doing pretty cool shit. 1 second.
Yeah, whoever it was that said that. If you're not on the YouTube channel, all I see is Facebook user, so I have no idea who just said that. Sorry.
Yeah. oh, oh, sorry.
I don't. I don't.
I, JD, I can't, man. You're killing me. Um,
Oh, I'm gonna get him a name tape that says premature.
all right. So, Sin, why don't you talk a little bit about your area and make sure that whenever you talk about concert and uh, concert and whatever, it is all in the casino. It's all you're using air quotes because it's within game. Uh,
All right. So all of this is in-game content. At a certain point during the day, we're gonna have live music. We're gonna do. I'm gonna be DJing a bit. Might actually be running karaoke if I can get the equipment up and running. The whole thing about our faction is we're here to have a good time at the end of the world. We're gonna let everybody else deal with being good, being the bad guys. They can do all that crazy stuff. We're gonna be there to have a good time. Again, it's kind of like the party at the end of the world. The food truck will be on site so that you can, have some food while you're enjoying the music and chillaxing. I'm going to be sending out people on missions to, make sure everybody else is having a good time, whether or not they want to or not. Because it's our mission to make sure people are enjoying the end of the world. There is going to be games of chance for caps. Uh, or games a chance for your life, depending.
Well, JD, to address your thing, there's more stuff for this year, not just for next year. Um, we're doing stuff this year. Geigerlands is in just 2 months. Scorched Earth is in November, so we're doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so
How's
we
your
still
body?
got stuff rolling through.
Yeah, we're
Um,
gonna keep going. 3 pump chump.
wow.
My brother and I want to take into Geigerland in August at Bad Blood. Is there any place I can buy tickets from? When I search Geigerlands, I get a ballot hack page for Rev. That's interesting. Did somebody go
Yeah, I
through
got to
and
research that.
that would be like a severely jerk move? But yes, I have a promo code for you right here. Um, give me 1 second here. All right, give me 1 second. There's your ticket for Geigerlands. It also comes with a $10 promo code, so it turns it's like a $110 ticket into $100. Yeah, but I'm already ticketed up for those events. You got a ticket for Scorched Earth already? Much obliged. We're doing some we're doing some stuff for Bad Blood here. Yeah. I really enjoyed having my okay. Yeah, I mean we're talking about 3 different people. So just Geiger. Okay, awesome. Because Geigerland's going to be a hell of a lot of fun for next year. We're going to be doing a couple other things. There's a couple things I'm going to test out during that I want to. All right, I should say it this way because I'm misspeaking. One couple things I want to test out for Geigerlands is maybe a zombie game to improve for Bad Blood. I think it's time for the King Zombie, the Zombie King to come out. All hail the Zombie King.
Wow, wow, wow. Weren't you treating me right? I'm glad. I need context for that sentence.
It's right here. It's taught our group a lot about HPA rigs.
Okay.
FAFO is our team. I've been using that term a heck of a
Okay.
lot more.
Yeah, I know those guys. They ran with me for. You guys were with me for 2 events, weren't you? Weren't you guys at Syndicate too? But yeah, no. I think this year we've got Geigerlands, we got Scorched Earth. We're working on some few things for next year. And if me and Christian find time, we have a new brain baby. We are going to iron out some ideas for that should be fun for the small teams. No, not the zombie game.
So, and you're a sample collector at the last event. Yeah, that's one of the fun parts about one of the fun parts about Bad Blood, right? Is that sample collection. It was real. It was a ton of fun to go around and do that. I mean, I still believe I should have gotten at least 2 stamps because I was able to walk in 2 CO spawns and lay hands on the COs without being contested. Not even that I dodged BBs or I did some sideways stuff. That I walked right up and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" In fact, let's roll the tape.
I can hear Sin. I love you.
I'm already dead. That's why I was putting my shit away. I just got shot. You're late.
You know where I was? I was right there.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm alive. Yourself?
Not anymore.
Not really. I'm not trying to take them off here. Actually, I'm trying to
I'll take a drain on that. I'm hurt. Help! You're dead.
Uncontested. uh, uh,
My real name. He's probably talking to his mic.
I
He
was
talks to his GoPro.
I was talking to the GoPro. I was actually saying to make sure that that it could be heard that Sin's right over there, and that was that was so amazing because so I was there and I heard Sin say 5 minutes to respawn. So I'm laying down inside the wood. I'm laying down in the weeds and I'm just like laying there. Next thing you know, that guy that starts shooting right above me, I'm like, oh crap, this sucks. um, and then I finally got up because like green respawns. Deus Ex is now right behind me. I'm between both sides, and they're just doing a firefight. So I just go around the trees, go walk them. I see a couple of green guys, and I go, "Hey, what's up?" I just walk right past them. It was hilarious. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Nobody even turned their guns on me, which was hilarious until after I have my arms around Sin, and then the guy's like, Are you dead?" And I was so eager to just run up and start stabbing, but there was like 5 guns pointed at me at that time, and I was like, "Nah, I'm dead." Ah, P90's actually right there. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, guys. To be honest with you,
Don't HPA that. Don't HPA that.
it's I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. Better go shoot you too. Oh, it's a sport. Come on, guys. There's 10 of us in here. Getting into the stamp in the tower, and I was pinned down for 15 minutes. There was no stamp in the tower. That was Headkill's lunch.
No, not there. He's not talking about the one in the castle. The corner
Oh,
of Titman Town.
that one where I got.
Yeah, there is a dude that literally set up in the pine
I know.
forest, and he had line of sight. He just LMG just kept hosing it down.
No, I got lit up in the back. Like I usually don't scream out in pain too much, like as in it really hurts. And that one had me going like, that gun sucked for that tribal that was there. Yeah, in Titman, yeah, that I know which one you're talking about. That one in the bottom. So I knew where it was because I just got done knifing a couple of tribals. So I was like, crap. I really need to see.
Yeah, we got kind of screwed at that position because we finally fought in, cleared out the guys, got in there, and all of my stamp collectors, except for 2, had disappeared. Like we literally were stuck there for 30 minutes trying to get them over there.
So when we had the AAR on Tuesday night, one of the things I suggested moving forward is that so we don't have another repeat of like a tie, is to just simply count all the stamps that were like it has to be full stamp sheet collected, right? So 4 stamps, in other words, all the ones that are out there to count, and see whoever has the most stamps total. If there is a tie, like if there's 5 and 5, in other words all 4 plus your own CO stamp, and there's that tie, then the other tie goes to, well, how many stamps did each stamp collector get for the team that tied? And that might be a better tiebreaker instead of the controversy that happened last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
Also,
that
your that was a weird misconception. Your CO stamp doesn't actually count.
but that's what but Liam did count, or Ian did count it. That's why he had 5 on there because they had 5, they had 5. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, which I
No, we're
get.
talking. There's a lot of stuff we were talking about in the rules for next year. Some of them, like that's the one thing I do like about working with the guys from NYC Airsoft and Bad Blood Crew is we all sit down, like the staff sits down and actually votes on rules changes and decisions that need to be made to make the game better. Um, Very rarely is there unilateral from the top. We're doing this and don't shut up and do it.
Yeah.
Ian and Moondog are very about how can we. This is a community event. Let's make it better.
And that's one of the things I always try to like what I like about that, and that's also what we're sort of doing with Geigerlands as well. So we're going to give you guys, when it comes to Geigerlands, which is a new experience for you guys at the prison. It's a new experience to the prison because it's There's a lot of role play elements there. Don't get me wrong. Don't get us wrong. It is still an airsoft game. It's just more limited ammo, so you don't want to be spraying, and praying everywhere and going full auto all the time. But at the same time, there's going to be some. We know there's going to be some stuff that we're going to have to change for future games. What might work in Virginia and Florida might not work for Pennsylvania. So we're always going to look at and adjust and bring you guys some good stuff.
Yeah, the best way I've heard it described thus far is it's going to be an objective-based game where the objectives actually matter,
Yeah,
which is what somebody told me.
because we're going to have all sorts of like we already have a couple of NPCs that we already planned out. We have the scholar who's looking for old world reading materials, which are going to be labeled on them because we're going to be throwing books around outside that are going to be labeled that you guys can bring back for rewards and stuff like that, for caps and for resources. There's one second. Drink.
AWOL.
Playing the objective. Who does that? Oh God, that's a funny story from last night. Played airsoft at Miami Airsoft last night, which is what I always do, right? I play Wednesdays at MA. It wasn't a great day, but it wasn't a bad day at the same time. It was like this weird mix, and it was just Tinker and I, and we're doing our regular stuff, and then there was a couple kids. There was a couple kids that were playing there. Remember, everybody under the age of 30 is a kid to me. Thank you. And they thought because they had one side of the map and they were shooting into like our spawn that they thought they had a spawn trapped or whatever. I was like, doesn't matter what you think you're doing. The fact is you still lost. What do you mean? We hit you guys spawn trapped. I was like, we were never spawn trapped, for one. But two, the game called Conquest. So let's get all 5 lights. So I got your light right in front of your spawn. So he goes, I was like, so you lost. He goes, who the hell plays the objective? I was like, evidently we do. You lost. So I was like, oh, so you define win or lose by who spawn traps? Game on. They were not happy.
That speedy boy mentality.
Oh, they were not happy the next game. I did a Sin just froze. I did this really badass walk around the corner, did a side shot with like rifle straight out, and just like bop. He's like, not fair. What?
Sorry, man. I'm on hotel internet.
Yeah, no, you're back. You're moving okay. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to bring a lot of this cool stuff to you. So if you guys are having any questions about Geigerlands, what are you or are you not allowed to do? Well, there's a couple things you're definitely not allowed to do when it comes to the camping aspect, right? Indoors, no heat sources, no cooking indoors. I don't think we should have to say it, but we're taking every single precaution possible. We're going to try to have burn barrels and stuff set up around, but for you guys to be able to use outside and all that. But if you guys are going to be cooking or anything else, you have to do it outside. All right. Do not fire anywhere near the food truck that's going to be on site. As Sin put it, if a BB goes inside the fryer, he's going to be a very unhappy camper. Very unhappy. So, yeah.
Again, I'm not threatening violence. I just want you to know I'm really good at it.
Some other things that you can't do is at 6 o'clock on airsoft guns are only allowed on the field from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. If you get there Friday and go plan to camp out, leave your airsoft guns inside your car. Okay, leave them locked up, leave them secured inside your vehicle. Don't bring them onto the field because it's going to be a cold field. There will be a chrono station that once at 2 o'clock we open the doors, people can go in and chrono. So that section of the field is going to be off limits without iPro. It's going to be the cold section. It's going to be the hot section, which is where if anybody saw chrono last time, you know exactly what we're talking about. All right. The rest of the field go down. So pretty much when you go out from building 2, you can only go left. You can't go right. Make sense? All right.
The other thing that's important that I don't believe we have to say is don't use the toilets. They're porta potties.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't
Toilets.
work.
The toilets don't
Don't
work.
do that.
Now, what we can do for the events is that we're going to bring porta potties onto like we could stage porta potties on the actual AO. So we'll probably stage one in front of each campsite, each main building location, so people can go in and use them. With that being said, there is a we're going to probably put a 30-foot buffer around the porta potties. Like there'll be red tape or something around them to not pew pew into the porta potties. Walking in and throwing a grenade inside the porta potties is not acceptable. I didn't think we had to say
You
this,
will
but
be
evidently,
going home.
yeah.
Jay, I'm looking at you.
Don't leave Jay alone. Although he was a bit excessive during the zombie game. Wait. We have a video of that too. Hold on. Yeah, it's this one.
Oh shit, move!
That son of a bitch hurt. Cause of blast. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna walk over here.
I got that on camera.
Oh, good.
That's the Ass Blaster 3000.
He turned that man's innie into an Audi.
That's what happens to me after Taco Bell. So yeah, and actually, speaking of grenades, like for Geigerlands in particular, you actually have have to have the perk in order to use grenades. So it's very important. 4 inches. No, dude, that was right on his butt. I'm not even kidding.
If by 4 inches you mean just the tip, I understand.
I've been on the receiving end with one of those things rolled. Like I had one roll right underneath my side, and because I felt something go there, I went to reach down to get it. So you lean. I was leaning on my right arm, so I took my arm out to reach down, and it exploded. So I had my full weight on it, so it exploded right on my hip and my hand. That one hurt like hell. I was a blind man. They had to take me off the AO. That was at a Third Coast event. That son bitch hurt. um, so yeah. So in order to use grenades, you have to have the perk. So what the hell? Stillwell just got kicked again. He just got zucked for 3 days.
What did he do this time?
Don't know. I don't understand why he's getting. I hope he appeals that because he's not saying anything wrong.
YR Bud, do you care if I voice myself in regards to BB? Bad Blood? Did that one even show up over here?
No.
It did. So some comments are showing up on the main thread, some aren't.
Okay. Well, I don't see.
No, yeah, there it is. There it is. 182857. Care if I voice myself in regards to Bad Blood?
Sure, go right ahead.
Hey,
we're
here for, man.
Even though we're mostly here to talk about the events at Big House Milsim, we're also, Sin and I are personalities that travel to all these things. We just came off a really good event, and if it's anything that can help us with our events, we can go through. I feel Babbo's a great event going for 5 years. Well, 10 next year. I feel things should be changed as far as the objectives, like the whole stamp concept. I feel for some vet players, a Bad Blood is a bit dead. Something should be spiced up about it. It also may maybe some safe areas throughout the playing field that all teams can use to be overseen by staff or an extra in bed instead of having to walk off the field to go back to spawn. Maybe use take a break or clean goggles, etc. I can tell you right now, some of that stuff's already being discussed. That we've had several discussions with that for Bad Blood. And I definitely understand your concern. That's why they had the Evike mat thing. I think the position of Evike mat was in a bad area. And this is not.
Yeah, sorry. We actually talked about this. So first, that was my idea to do the whole extraction thing, not using Matt. The problem was Matt's location for deployment. The other problem was a bunch of people didn't realize who Matt was. because he just looked like a random green team member. He apparently had to ask people if they were going to capture him, and their quote was, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm Matt." And they went, "Oh." Um, so, and the fact that the game ended early due to the heat meant you guys didn't have enough time to actually pull off the extraction mission as scheduled.
Yeah.
We're aware. We like what seriously, guys. As soon as we came off the field, we all came up to have our meeting. We're like, yeah, so that was screwed up. But we tried to spice it up. We wanted to give you something spicy because normally we do the giant castle siege at the end, and everybody kind of got burnt out on that. But we wanted to add something that didn't break up the flow of combat, which is why the bonus mission was thrown in. I think the next time we have a VIP, we need to make them clearly the HVT. You know.
Yeah. James, I'll get you in just a second, but I want to answer of Yar. I have no idea how to say your name, man. Also, credible intelligence that people bought tickets for Marcus and actually play for them, buying up tickets, making their numbers down. So I'm going to address that one first, and I'm going to jump down to James. So it doesn't matter if, even though we were down 30 players, because I'm going to say it this way, and I'm sure it's going to spark controversy. I'm not taking away from the win from Deus Ex, but with everything that came out, the Marxist CO was not at the staff meeting like he was supposed to be to make the argument that, hey, I was 5 minutes after my 5-minute bleed out. I should not have given up the stand. Marxist was, as far as I'm aware, the only team to actually get in and lay hands on 2 COs.
Green, no, he did it. Green actually got 2 COs, except for the people that got those COs decided to go to lunch and never come back.
I think it was the same CO. I don't think it was 2 COs.
They had 2 stamps on the cards and they brought them back, but it didn't count because the game was over.
Oh, well.
Also, based as far as ticket sales go, the count based on waivers signed on site, Marks has had the most people show up.
No, we didn't. We had 172. That's what Smurf said. Green had the most at 206.
The last numbers we just saw, we only had like 150 waivers.
Smurf,
I'll double check.
Yeah, Smurf literally said that for that, Marxist was down 30 players because it was 172 to the highest team. I think Deus Ex had 202, and I think you had 206.
Right.
Tim, I don't remember, but it was somewhere in the 200 range. The only people that really
if Smurf's on, she'll probably post them shortly.
Yeah.
But either way, the ticket sales versus waivers discrepancy, like we know by waivers, we know how many people actually showed up.
Yeah. Because they also had to check in, like their name had to check in for the right side and all that stuff. So we were down 30 players. Look, we lost our CO, we lost our XO being Chef. I tried to channel Chef as much as possible, but at the same time, I had a duty and responsibility to the channel to go knife people. So we leave, we come back. I would leave and come back. Each time I come back, like we'd be able to reform the line. So once people started clicking, especially in like the last 2 hours, they really started understanding what we have to do on the Marxist side to do the march across. We did our jobs well. We moved all over the place. We got all the stamps that we were supposed to. We kept getting in the middle of 2 to 3 other triages almost all day long, and we still were able to hold our own for the most part. Okay, so to answer James's question, it's an interesting question. Thought of a question. So if you're a player whose character persona is a merchant, are you allowed to do cash transactions on the AO? So my question in return is, are you selling some of your personal stuff? Because to be a merchant out on the field, typically that's done for caps. Now, if you want to sell some stuff for old world money, you're probably going to have problems with those transactions. I mean, look, if you're carrying a cart around and you got some stuff in there that you want to sell for, like you have some AEGs or, some pistols or whatever that you want to sell off, nothing's really stopping you from doing so. But most of the time, Green was 186. Okay, Marxist was 172. I got the 6 right.
Yeah, I would say I know we didn't hit 200.
Black shirt, Deus Ex and black. So black shirts had 200. Okay. Um, so with that being said, like for the merchant aspect of it, just remember there's a lot of trading and stuff that's done for caps. So nothing's stopping you from actually selling stuff for real world cash. Just understand that most of the negotiation and stuff like that is going to be for in-game stuff. So, but here's the cool thing: the players drive the 90% of the story and 90% of the stuff that's there. You guys get to do and act as you see fit, how you want to. There's really no penalty for turning on your friends and shooting them, save for the fact that they're probably not going to trust you anymore during this event.
Remember, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun your friends.
Exactly. So when it comes down to the end game stuff for Geigerlands, that's where each night that it goes to shut down there's a really fun event that kicks off. So 30 minutes before the end of the game, you're going to hear horns blare. That's the start of the Rad Storm. Okay, the NPCs are going to start getting infected with Rad Madness. So those friendly NPCs might all of a sudden be turning a little bit nasty. That last 30 minutes, your main goal is make sure you secure whatever you need to power and survive in your vaults until the Rad Storm passes. Now, vaults can only carry a certain percentage of people inside of them. So, for example, when we're looking at overall numbers, figure like 10 to 15% of whoever's out there. So if there's 400 people out there, you're looking at 60 players or so, yeah, 60 players.
Yeah,
60
rough
players
math,
can be in
about 60
vaults.
players.
Yeah, so only 60 players can be in vaults. Well, if your team is 10 guys and the vault that you're in front of can only support 5, there's going to be some hard decisions made. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff that goes down the line. So also when the Rad Storm, like when the sirens blare, you can't be respawned after the horn blares. So whatever lives you have left, that's it. And you better hope you survive.
Also, like, what about QR code or something to sync with Chrono and Reg, just to make things speed up? Friday was a bit tough.
I would say this year, Sin made a difference in Chrono, yelling at people to move it up. It was awesome. Brad, that's when the hater comes into play. Exactly.
Comes into play.
So what we're doing with so I take it that's another bad bullet question, but we're going to be talking about it for Bad Blood and for Bad Blood and for our events, Geigerlands and Scorched Earth. We have a pretty fast turnaround system and everything else that we have in play. I can't speak for registration because I didn't work registration. I did work a little bit of Chrono, but because I can't read the chronographs without my glasses, I couldn't actually run Chrono, and then other responsibilities at Bad Blood to take care of. But here's the biggest problem that we found at Bad Blood, which is very pertinent for Syndicate and Scorched Earth. You had people showing up on Saturday that were there that registered on Friday to chrono their guns on Saturday. I highly recommend for everybody that's out there, chrono your crap early. Get there early on whatever day that the gates first open to get through registration and get through chrono. Then you can just chill. If you come up to us like that one dude that came up with like the 6 guns on him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I get all these chronoed." I was like, "All right, man. Thanks for taking up the time on Saturday." I was like, and he was there on Friday because I talked with him on Friday. Why didn't you do this yesterday? I was just going to do it today. Well, so did 600 other people do it the same day. So the thing that
Dude, it was ridiculous. And then I had people that literally got in line with one gun, chronoed it, went back to camp, came up with another gun, got in line. It's like you could have just brought all this at once and got it done.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mind a guy coming with 6 guns. I really didn't. But he should have done that on Friday. is the point. If you guys are getting out there, like for Geigerlands, we have a different rule set when it comes to when you step on property, what you're supposed to do. And the reality is, as soon as your feet touch the ground out of your car at Geigerlands, your first job is get out, grab your iPro, your pew pew, and whatever your pew pew needs to go pew pew. So grab your iPro, your gun, either a battery or your air, and a magazine. Walk through, go to Reg, get registered, walk right outside, and get that gun chronographed. Now, if you have a lot of guns to get done, go back out to your car, get the other guns, go back in before you start setting up your campsite. The only time that you don't do that is if we're doing a safety brief. So if you come walking in, you still have to sign your waiver, but stop for the safety brief. Get that out of the way because we're going to be doing rotating safety briefs all the way around. All right, let's see here. That's great, but it's tough. Tim says you can't arrive till 3 p.m. when you set up camp and then be chrono at a certain time. 3 p.m. is arrival time. Should be sooner. That is beyond my pay grade.
Yeah, we have no control over that.
So, no problems, James. My pleasure. Going to keep chrono pokey got. I swear to God.
I will say, sorry.
I'm going to laser engrave that thing that says the pokey poke.
Jesus Christ. I'm surprised you didn't bring the Twisted Tea can.
Well, here's
I will
the thing.
tell you guys this. If you see me running chrono or in a overall position at chrono, I try to run it fast, as smooth, as quickly as possible. The other problem we had Saturday was you can blame your buddies because it takes one idiot. I failed a gun. Somebody snuck that guy a tag. We found out about it, so I had to re-chrono every bolt action rifle because I couldn't let it slip through, and that slowed us down on Saturday too. And the gun was shooting stupid hot, so there was no way I was going to let it slide.
Yeah. So the key factor is that, like, so for talking about Bad Blood, because this is what I do for almost every single event. When I show up, regardless if I have an RV or not, regardless if I'm going to be playing any night game or anything else, the first thing I do is I try to get there as soon as everything opens up so I can get registered. I get my guns chronoed as soon as possible. I get all that crap done because then I could socialize. Then I could be the social butterfly you all know me to be, where I just flutter around going, "Hey guys, I'm here," or set up the encampments and all that. So, I mean, definitely give us the feedback for Bad Blood because Bad Blood, we need it for the future events. I know all that stuff's really being paid attention to. If we can get it open up earlier, that'd be great. I think one of the problems that we didn't Moondog get there a little bit late on Friday with the chronos. Was that Saturday?
So that was Saturday. They got the chronos were there. They were just locked into a room I didn't have access to.
Yeah. So
another thing it was I was not overall in charge of chrono for Bad Blood. I have to say that. So a lot of the things I would have done, I couldn't have done because I didn't have that authority. But I'm going to pitch the idea for next year is that everything gets chronoed, even pistols, every day. That way we have the low power tags for the zombie game, so I don't have the 200 plus line before the zombie game again.
What's the hottest gun? That dude that had that gun that was shooting 600 FPS.
Yeah, before that. Okay, so I'm going to answer this two ways. There's a gun, bolt action sniper rifle that was shooting 650. Hottest I've ever seen come out. However, I have chronoed a Springer pistol at 420 FPS.
Strong spring.
Yeah. He restretched and condensed a couch spring. Yeah.
Impressive. All right. All right. So, Brian, I'm definitely going to
jeans under her camo.
Yeah, we're going to address that in a second. So to go back to Gert's question, yeah, when we were there, so the guy was shooting at that was that AEG that was shooting at 600 FPS, and the guy
was over 600.
And it's like, "What the hell did you put in this thing?" And it's like, and he started arguing. We're like, no." And he went out and swapped the spring. So I was like, "Damn." Somebody asked me, "Is like, can they have this?" I was like, "No." I mean, look, sometimes people shoot one or two over the limit, and that's always that judgment call thing, right? But damn, um, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about heat cats, because this is definitely going to be pertinent for us at Geigerlands in August. All right, it's my main concern that I always have, um, for all you Northerners, because I'm from Florida. That heat that we were experiencing, that you guys were experiencing and dropping out from, we call that fall. That's Florida only has two temperatures where I'm from: summer and slightly less hot summer. Um,
That's gator wrestling season.
so it wasn't so much hot for me. It's like, but I will tell you, the sun was more intense in that area than where we were, because we're a couple thousand feet up in the air. Most people don't realize we're up on a mountain, and that affects some of the stuff there. So Ryan, you were there, and I showed up as well, and we had at the start of the game we had two heat cats within 20 minutes, an ankle injury, and then 25 minutes, like 10, 15 minutes later, we had another massive heat cat. Um, so the thing that we're going to start really enforcing on people is, like, what I really want everybody to do is they have to bring a bottle of water to the morning safety brief to take a drink. Down the bottle. If you're not peeing, you're dehydrated. Um, I'm not sure why people don't hydrate like they should. I had attended to a 90-pound female who was wearing jeans under her camo pants, sweater with a vest and a shirt. She was so dehydrated. She was hot to the touch, pulse all over the place, and couldn't feel from the elbows down. My fat ass carried up a hill to the medevac. I have a feeling she was on Marxist, right, Ryan? Was I standing right there calling it in? Um,
That sounds like another case of somebody trying to wear enough padding so it doesn't hurt,
yeah,
but not realizing like it's still detrimental.
yeah. Like the kid, the boy that all of a sudden fell out, that we had to strip him down. He was wearing a neoprene hoodie, to protect against the BB strikes, and it was the proper camo color. Like, look, in these particular games, you're gonna get hit with BBs. If you can't take a hit, then maybe it's not the right sport for you. But you know, the gator came for her, right, Ryan? Because the gator was there. We had to walk her up to the gator where we had to take all of her stuff there. She was the one that was shaking. What's up, Wolfman? I mean, I don't like to say, well, I could handle it. You should be able to as well, because I don't, I really don't want to be that way. It's like, I can lift my shirt up right now and my body is tattooed from the zombie game, but I'm used to doing that crazy shit. A lot of other people aren't, and they're trying to prevent themselves from getting those things. What I saw from the Heat Cats is they seem to be a lot of inexperienced players thinking, "Oh, I can handle this. I can hack this," not realizing you're dealing with terrain, heat, and dehydration. That's the key things there. Almost none of them had water on them. Um, and that was another thing that we addressed with the staff meeting as well. So for us, we're going to make sure that require that people come in and, like, hey, you need to show us at least 2 liters of water before you walk onto the AO. For Geigerlands, because we want to make sure people are hydrated and they're staying cool. And for our event too, you shouldn't be kitted up to the nines. I mean, unless your stuff is all post-apocalyptic looking. I don't know if you're frozen or you're just sitting really still. No, you're sitting still.
Sitting really still.
Because
So still I'm invisible.
there's at Geigerlands, it's post-apocalyptic. You should be wearing your cry stuff there. You should be having your plate carriers and all that there, unless it's something that's really beat up, looks worn, and everything else. So when you're walking around and the way that you're engaging with people, it should be very, very. You shouldn't have those. You shouldn't have those overheating issues. You don't need layers in the middle of summer. Most people don't realize you don't need layers in winter either if you're playing a Milsim game. You just Run. You can say warm up. All right, Wolfman, it's your birthday today. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
I totally thought you were going to play the birthday dirge for a minute.
Nope.
Any tips for rehydrating before and going and wearing a ghillie all weekend? Um,
I would drink a lot. I would use Pedialyte. Um,
I'd say Pedialyte um, and water before the event, and make sure you actually have a summer ghillie. Bad Blood's a perfect example, and Syndicate 2. I saw a lot of guys out there in the heat wearing winter ghillies. There is a difference. Summer ghillies are actually have the wide mesh in it so that it actually breathes better on your body. If you're wearing a summer ghillie, you don't need to wear some thick shirt underneath of it because you're negating the point of wearing the summer ghillie. Um, if you got really tiny holes or even that thin mesh, it's a winter ghillie suit. Don't wear that in a hot event.
yeah. So what I would say for rehydrating or prehydrating, as the case may be, is Pedialyte or a 50-50 mix between Powerade and water. Gatorade has a hell of a lot more sugar than Powerade, so I don't think it works nearly as effective as, or Gatorade doesn't work nearly as effective as Powerade, in my opinion. And then I would wear at least 2 to 3 liters of water on your back underneath the ghillie suit throughout the day, and making sure it's always stays topped off with fresh water.
Yeah, in general, and people forget that Powerade and Gatorade, it's 1 to 1. One bottle of Gatorade, 1 bottle of water. If you're down the bottle of Gatorade, fill it with water and down that too. If not, you're just gonna it's sodium. You're just gonna end up dehydrating yourself.
This is another great point because this is going to go into scorched earth. People that wear all green ghillie, and he got on Marxist. Marxist was tan, solid tan, or tan based camos, and got friendly fire multiple times. Was hard to see in the heat of the moment. Yes, he did, and he regretted that.
That's on
Guys,
him.
when it comes down to trying to be super sneaky sniper ghillie guy, and you're not wearing your team's color or faction, I mean, don't know what to tell you. It's gonna suck for
It
you.
sucks to suck. It's on you.
Yeah.
Viper hood for my ghillie. I love the Viper hood system. My problem is I have a large head, and they do not work as intended.
Back
I mean,
nameplate.
you can't spot a back nameplate from a distance. From a distance, it looks like a rectangle with some scribbles on it, man. I found
I
that
mean,
out the hard way at Stonebreaker.
they're highly advised. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would put one on the back that goes through. Now for night games and stuff like that, there's other things you guys could do to make sure that you don't get knife killed. Like glow sticks and stuff like that that are low in color, but at least they know what faction color you're on and all that, so you don't get yeah.
There was one guy actually on. He might have been a black shirt or he might have been Deus Ex. I can't remember, but he had a green ghillie on. He was black shirts. He had a green ghillie on, but he took a black strip of duct tape and ran it down the back of his ghillie.
That makes sense. So at least you could see like from behind. Um, exactly. Tan ghillie works in greenwoods if you're smart enough. I mean, there's tan everywhere in the forest.
I mean, where a faction appropriate ghillie does apply, but it also depends on the AO you're playing on. Like we play winter events, I have a whited out ghillie, which I'm playing in snow. I'm not going to wear a green ghillie to hide in snow. But
Why is that
my team
green
shoots me in
mass
the
moving?
back, and my team shoots me in the back all the time. I suck it up and move on. I chose to wear that outfit.
Yeah. My first Bad Blood was awesome. I bought a keg on Saturday night, and there wasn't a drip of beer left. There's some Florida boys and Texas boys who knew how to rip it up. So I will say this: I know of at least 3 of the people that dropped out were because they were drinking the night before, and they dehydrated themselves drinking and not rehydrating properly after drinking the night before. I know of at least 3. So you don't want electric blowback is the first thing.
Well,
It's more whatever he says, it's more parts that can fail it doesn't work nearly as good as you think it's going to work, and it's a pointless feature to have on a gun. In
Up
my opinion.
until recently, I would 100% agree with him. It is, well, hold on. It is a pointless feature to have in a gun. Don't get me wrong. It's a freaking gimmick. It's like 3D TV. Um, Up until don't get ICS, Wolfman. You should feel shame for yourself. Up until recently, I would have said none of them were worth a damn. KWA's EV, their blowback system they put into the Rodents series, like the TK45, um, is actually brilliantly designed, and they're built like a tank.
But it also
Every
gives away your
problem I've
position.
ever had, yeah,
Sorry.
it does. But every issue I've ever had with a EBB, they solved. And I wish I was at home so I could show you mine. Um, they put the blowback system is part of the gearbox cycle itself into the buffer tube.
Yeah, more exactly, Brad. More moving parts means it's going to fail. It's going to give away your position more because it makes more noise. If you want my honest opinion, Gert, go with the G&G SRS. Strong gun out of the box, jack of all trades, decent barrel, good stock. G&G's, it'll take a while for them to burn out the parts on those guns. I mean, it's a solid thing. Plus,
It
it's
does.
also lightweight.
But this isn't, yeah, but this isn't his first gun. If you want it, yeah, if you want to just get a gun, get anything other than an EBB. If you want a EBB, I would say go with the KWA because of quality. And I have been abusing the crap out of the one I have for 3 years, and I haven't managed to break it yet. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. It's absolutely pointless, but we like cool things. I have a Space Gat. I just ran it Bad Blood. It's completely pointless, but it makes me feel happy. Um, Again, it's all about what you want. Like if
Exactly.
somebody
I
was to
was just going
say,
to say that.
it's all about what you want, and if somebody were to say, "This is my first gun and I want an EBB," I tell you, don't do it.
I was going to say the same thing that you were. That you know what? Ultimately, our opinion matters only a little. It's your opinion that matters the most. You decide what you want to play with, what you feel you like the feel of, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. All right. So, I mean, we can give you advice on whether or not that's going to be a shitty mechanical gun and not do it. But ultimately, it like there was when I first started, I was my baby gun. Somebody, the one that I got it used and everything else, and it was people are like, "Man, that gun's shit piece of garbage" or whatever. I was like, if it breaks down, I'm doing it because I like the body. I don't give two shits about what's inside of it. Saw it, I get it. I wrote a P5 case. So,
Yeah, no room to talk, brother. No room to talk.
I mean,
But yeah,
more likely next weekend I'm gonna or next Wednesday I'm probably gonna try the Crytek. You know, see how it runs the P90. Um,
yeah, Wolfman. I don't think either one of those guns out of the box was actually completely assembled, and that is my opinion. And I will die on this hill. Um,
uh,
I'm
uh,
guessing that's a PID number. Um,
yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
But so yeah, Matt, we were talking about no feeling for most EVVs. They don't feel anything. What sold me on the KWA because I have the TK45 with the recoil system, and it is my shoulder hurt after playing with it from the recoil. It's a dual counterweight system, and it literally punches into your arm.
It's a Daniel's Defense, a Bolt Daniel Defense here. Oh, they're over here.
Oh God, no! Do not buy that damn thing, for the love of God. They have a issue with the castle nut because of how they did their recoil system. The buffer tubes keep cracking.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess that's
oh, don't waste your money on that. And if you do, don't call me to fix it.
like I have what we're now calling affectionately the rooster gun, which is it's actually it was a a black rose that the G&G black rose, but it was front wired. I had taken off the front rail, replaced it, and then wired it to the rear. So it Virtue shirt. I know we've already been demonetized for it. It's okay. And that blowback system, after a while, it just didn't work nearly as good as it was supposed to, and then it ultimately just it's like it lost its appeal pretty quick. It's like it's not that great of a gun. Should Kimberly say? I'm thinking we're gonna go GBB next year, I guess. Gas blowback.
Dude, it's like the third and fourth gun now I think about it, I ever owned were gas blowbacks. And for the first year, they are amazing. They are fun until you have to buy new mags. Because generally, for the cost of 4 new mags, you could just go buy an AG.
Yep. Same thing when I teach
Daytona.
farm safety. I had a Daytona.
Sorry, go ahead.
I had the Daytona M60, and while it was fun to shoot and you had that recoil and everything else, it just wasn't. It wasn't worth the money. I actually sold it back to the guy I bought it from. What's up, Garcia? Hey,
I'm
Garcia.
Sorry, yeah. The issue with the Daytonas is they because of how they were designed, their recoil system, the parts wear out quicker. Like you lose compression so much quicker, which means your range drops, your SPF drops, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of replacement parts. Like I've had to repair them for people by going to Home Depot and finding what works best because they don't really make replacement parts for the Daytona. They try to get you to just buy a new kit.
Garcia.
Yeah, Brad.
I got a new name for you. You're no longer top. You're now Lone Wolf. End of story.
I don't even want to know. What's sold out everywhere, Brad?
Daytona.
You're talking about the gas mags? Oh.
Or both. It's probably the gas mags too. All right.
Yeah.
So Garcia was at the Operation Light Claw event at that mill down in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude was going across creeks by using this this pipe system and all that. Evidently, supposedly, he like came out of the water looking like he was a Navy SEAL or some shit. How's the body after the zombie game? That pick was gnarly. It's recovering.
Okay, hold up. Don't give this man any sympathy. They put the zombie game in my hands, and I decided to give the last good rush and some photo ops for the photographer. So everybody's up on the center tower of the castle, and they're shooting the shooter. And I'm getting ready to call it. Joker goes, no. You got to give us a chance to push those stairs. And I looked at him like, are you crazy? He goes, no, bullshit. I want to push those stairs. And I said, fine. If you get 20 people to volunteer to do this stupidity with you, we'll do it. He rounds them up, and they stack up against the side. And I call
everybody
it. He goes,
and everybody points their guns out the
aims
top,
down.
Which they weren't allowed to do because it's against the rules for EMR and everything else. I come up there and I start ripping people off the wall, say, what are you doing?
Can't shoot straight down. But he pushed it. He pushed those stairs, dear God. Now, looks like an undercooked turkey with heroin stretch marks. Sorry.
Just to be clear, guys.
Wait, you got a clip of this? Garcia?
No,
Garcia, you got a clip of that?
No, he's got a clip of his thing where he's going across. I saw it.
All right.
So Dante, that's Dante Ortiz saying that. When it comes down to playing a game like the zombie game and all that, I did not even start off as a regular player. I started off as a zombie. I wanted my main job to be to just grab players. That's all I wanted to do. In fact, what I'll do now is to give you guys, I love the zombie event. It's one of the things is really my highlight of the day. So, highlight of the event.
I got to explain this from my perspective for a second because I didn't hear about the place of footage. I'm reffing the zombie game, and out of nowhere, there is Joker sprinting one way after somebody, and they are screaming, trying to run away from him and reload. A couple of seconds go by. Joker goes running the other direction, chasing after somebody else.
It was typically 30 seconds later.
Okay, you got anybody's old enough? Remember Scooby-Doo and the chase scenes, how they're going across the hallway but not actually crossing it? That's how it was with Joker chasing people through the zombie event.
If only there was a clip.
Oh, shoot. I touched you. You're a zombie.
All right, I just want to point out something here real quick. You heard those thwacks on my body.
Mm-hmm.
I gave no Fs. I was like, okay. And people were surprised because I'm taking these hits and just shrugging it off. I play at Miami Airsoft with 0 MED. This does not affect me. By the way, they can still hear us, and we can talk during this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh shit, that's Joker! Get the fuck out!
If you're an enemy, I'm going to tell you what team I'm on. But if you're not going to communicate, fuck that. We're out of here.
Not gonna be easy.
All right. Come on in. Oh, shit. This fucking guy is so sneaky. I can't get away from him. Shit.
Two, three. You got me, blind.
Zombie! Try shot! Try shot! I got two right
The
here.
try shot was always funny. I love that he did that. Hold on. I got to pause this for a second. I love the fact that he did that because when he was yelling try shot, he was signaling to everybody that what they're getting hit with. So zombies immediately went down to one knee, and it was a perfect way to actually explain it without saying, yo, I hit you 3 times, bro. It's a try shot. It's like, okay, I'm going down. Shut up, Jay. I got more video to play.
They're pinched. Get that one guy. He's pinched. You're a zombie, dude. He touched you.
Another thing to point out, people don't listen to rules where if you get touched by a zombie, you instantly become a zombie. You don't get to get touched 3 times by zombies because that's freaking unfair.
Missed. Oh, no, you didn't. Nothing fired. Oh, shit, move.
Ass Blaster 3000.
He had the chili.
That son of a bitch hurt because of blast. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna walk over here.
I got that on camera.
Oh, good.
That's the Ass Blaster 3000. 1, 2. Your buddy sacrificed you. Good shit. 1, 2.
Oh, no. 3.
Oh, shit.
What? I had 3 shots. I only got hit once. That's 2.
Don't let Joker throw a knife at you, please. Not again.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh. You're gone. Got you. Before I got to you.
Fucking you. Thought you weren't playing. You fibber. Watch him. He's a zombie.
Guys, watch. Yo, watch it.
That's not Joker.
I'm literally dodging BBs and catching him. It's great.
How fast can you move?
Fast enough to dodge all of.
Don't do it. Come on. Read the player pack.
Don't do
No,
it.
I thought you meant
Don't do it.
Here's where I almost get him. Look how close I got to him.
Oh fuck!
By the
You're
time
lucky,
the third
Jay.
shit came out, he was so lucky. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I hit him 3 times halfway before he hit me.
Did he get you?
I hit him
He's
like
good, he's
5
good.
times before.
Oh, behind
What's up?
You don't have a red rag though.
What's this?
Oh, you look like a person though. Yeah, I can't tell you're a
That's beyond me.
zombie.
Yeah.
This zombie looks like a person, though. Really?
The fact that the kid's yelling, "He's a zombie! He's a zombie!" and I'm just, Jay, you just got lucky, man. You got so lucky that I was only a half. I was literally like a quarter step behind. I could have probably reached you. If I just would have taken like two little baby steps forward, like literally, if you see Jay's perspective, I come around the corner and I see him up there, and I was like, just put my head down and went, went up. I was like, I'm going for you. That's speed, not luck. Okay, Jay, I'll get you next time.
That's what she said, Jay. That's what she said.
So one of the things that for the zombie game that I really want to push for next time is that we limit the area that they can move through. Like they can't go into Tipman Town. The way I see the zombie game is the way I see the zombie game is right. Like last year, the zombies got every single survivor as they should, because it should be the last person alive that's moving around and doing that should be rewarded in some way. But the problem that came up with this particular one was that there was so much space for them to move through. It became almost impossible to capture someone out, especially considering that some people didn't realize they only had to be touched once in order to be turned into a zombie.
Yeah, I think we need to do rules clarification, and I pitched an idea to Moondog that'll actually spice up the zombie game, and encourage people to move towards the zombies.
I'm gonna pitch something to Moondog for the Zombie King for next year, being a little bit more powerful. So consider part of our power armor rules. Will be like the little sneak peek. But with that being said, guys, when you come into Geigerlands, expect that during the Rad Storm. So we're close.
No, that's what I pitched to Moondog, and he just smiled.
Yeah. So for Geigerlands, when the Rad Madness comes, that's essentially what I want to do for that. I still got to talk to Christian about it. Make sure he puts inside the rules the proper way and all that. But I think we gotta say
what? Who is that?
That's Garcia.
I have a sticker that says that.
But I can't wait for for Geigerlands to roll around, because I think we're gonna have so much fun with it. It's funny you have it like right there, ready to go. So for Geigerlands, when the Rad Storm comes, I just want to push to Christian, so that way, people, if they want to, they can put their guns down and all that, and just be part of it. Plastic swords are allowed, right?
Oh, right. I gave one to Garcia.
Yes. Yeah, but they're really trying to do it as foam swords instead, and it's lightest touch.
Yeah. It's lightest touch combat, so it's LARP legal weapons and foam weapons. Anything DIY is going to get heavily inspected as it comes in. There's a couple of guys, so if you look up Dagger here, Amcar, Darkon weapons build guides on YouTube, those are perfect. There's a few YouTube videos that people have sent me that said, is this okay? And they're absolutely not. You cannot put a pool noodle on the end of a piece of pipe.
No. I don't want to get hit with that.
If it depends on the sword, really. Like hard plastic swords, no.
The foam ones are good. Like a lot of the foam ones that you can get, a lot of the foam ones that you guys get from like Comic Cons and all that would be acceptable. As long as they have decent foam and stuff around it. The bamboo ones, no.
No. Foam latex is what you're looking for. Combat practice swords are a no because those are a hard based foam. Those can literally shatter glass and break bone. So if you're a HEMA aficionado, leave that at home.
Yeah. All right, Garcia, you have fun sticking people with a bunch of little needles.
Actually, I need to talk about a tattoo idea I have too because I want to find somebody that can do an illusion tattoo.
Nice.
Yep. I did DAG, I did Darkon, I did Amp-Guard, so I know how those build. And the layers allow it to be safe. The problem with some of the builds that people have been asking about is that if you just stick a piece of PVC on round foam, one good bend and that PVC starts breaking through the foam.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that myself. So, foam brass knuckles are fine.
Of course, it's Brainerd.
The only thing, the reason why I'm laughing,
it's light as touch. It's light as touch, Brainerd. What are you gonna do? Just walk up and gently rub them? Actually, that would be terrifying enough.
I get to see like a really big comical ones that are like this big.
Hulk hands. Oh, yes, Brainerd. You can use foam brass knuckles, but they have to be Hulk hands. That'll be gentle.
What did Jada send me?
I really want Brainerd to show up with Hulk hands.
Damn. All right.
Just paint Brainerd green, get him some rip shorts and some Hulk hands. When the rad storm hits, he just runs around smashing.
Okay, it looks like what you sent me, Jay, would work. We just need to make sure it's on Amazon. Okay. Yeah, because it looks like it's
send me the link.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. There. Damn it, always messes up. Stop. Jesus Christ. I just closed out of that and it jumps to the other one. We really want you to see this. I'm going as a post-apocalyptic Jim Bro. Know what you need to do? No, Brainerd, know what you need to do? You need to show up with like a human arm that you just keep simply gnawing and say, I'm just getting swole at your protein thing.
Yeah, so the PU foam weapons are great. They will work. Keep in mind that if you leave that in a hot car or somewhere, whatever shape it was in is the shape it's going to be. So if you're leaving it somewhere that's not temperature controlled and you leave it in the scabbard, because if you don't, they do have a tendency of warping and to take different shapes.
So just in other words, be careful with your, I mean, that's really anything plastic and all, especially with the heats that are the heat temperatures that are going up. I mean, I'm down here. What the hell?
Jim Bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
if he goes Jim Bro,
there's somebody has them. I see them at cosplay events all the time. They make a foam giant bar with weights, fake weights on it.
See about lines down my way then.
Just swing it at people, tell them to get those gains. No. Dear God. Dear God.
Jay, our special child.
Oh, before I forget, because I didn't get a chance before, Jay, thank you for stepping up and helping out at Chrono. And I can't remember who else came with you, and it's going to kill me because I know who he is and I cannot remember his name right now and save my knife. But thank you. This goes for any event, whether it be ours or any other event. If you know how to operate a chrono and you're competent in it, step up and volunteer. Volunteers help those lines move quicker.
I love the one guy that started getting mad at us. They go, open up more chronos. Like, dude, we got 9 chronos open right now. Just relax. You'll get through. Oh, I paid to be here. I was like, I don't give a shit. And I was like, you're like 5th in line. There's 9 guys. Chrono's not. I mean, nobody else can get in line for chrono, but you're going to be chronoed.
Yeah.
His name was Kevin.
Yeah. Well, if you see him, Jay, thank him for me, please. Yeah, no, that guy was just.
So I
It's a
want to talk
charity
about.
event.
Yeah, I want to talk about this for a little bit, right, guys? So, guys, if you come up to an event and an admin tells you to do something, embedded or otherwise, and you don't do it, you definitely run the risk of being kicked off the AO. I've lived by a thing. If an admin tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. I might not be happy about it. I might curse my all the way back to wherever I need to go to. But I'll be damned if you're going to talk back to talk down like trash any of our admins, because you shouldn't be doing that. Our admins are volunteers, or it's us, and we're telling you to do something because either you're breaking a rule or something needs to be affected of gameplay that you need to listen to right then and there. Arguing with us about it is not it's not the place to do it. Even if you feel you're 100% right, maybe you are 100% right. But in that space and time, it's not the time to discuss it because of all the other stuff that's going on. So we had a problem at Bad Blood where I'm an embedded admin. Our noodle was right there. Our noodles are triage. So for those who don't know Bad Blood, the 4 armies have 1 or 2 triages that they can use and then move their army across the field with a mobile respawn. You're not supposed to shoot within at least 50 feet of the pool noodle because there could be dead players just standing there. Well, there's a bunch of guys with dead rags on. The noodle guy says, "Okay, guys, you can go," and then the tower behind us shoots all of us in the back and everything else when they still have red rags on. So I go walking over, pulling out my high vis vest. I start getting shot at, and I'm now waving this vest, and I got shot even more. So when I sent those players back to respawn, they decided to argue about it. Don't do that.
I told my guys, like at both of my briefings, I was like, if you have a problem with something an admin tells you to do it. Tell me about it afterwards, and I will go be an asshole on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job to have fun. And we had one incident where one of my guys actually came up and he says, that admin told me to. I was like, did you do it? He goes, yeah. I said, what was your problem with it? He told me in detail. I went and talked to the admin. We figured out that my guy was actually on the right. The admin didn't see the whole incident, and it was settled.
Mm-hmm.
However, if he'd have sat there yelling with the admin, he becomes the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. The admin's can be wrong.
Geigerlands, we got you. Awesome.
The only time that you really have a discussion is if you're getting kicked off the field, but then you have the discussion off the field.
Field.
You don't do it right then and there in the space that's going on. What you're supposed to do, Brainerd, is to get eye level with them, which is to take a knee. You'd still be 6 inches taller than most people, but at least it gets you so much shorter down.
Dude, so Too Tall didn't make it to Bad Blood this year. He got deployed. If Too Tall was there, Brainerd, you'd actually have to talk up to him.
So we talked a whole lot about Geigerlands because that's the one that's coming up real soon. That's the one that everybody's getting. Might as well toss up that link one more time. Why not, right? So if you guys want, go ahead and hit the lovely link. Get your stuff. Get your tickets and all that for Geigerlands. But Scorched Earth. All right. So we don't really have too much of a storyline this yet. It's the Federalists versus the Nationalists. Crap, I forgot which color is which again. We haven't talked. Look, in my defense, we have not talked too much about Scorched Earth and all that. So I kind of forget which one's which. I believe Nationalists are green. Federalists are green camo. So it's going to be straight green versus tan. There will be civilians there, as you guys experience with cartel and everything else. Um, However, there's going to be no op4 or anything else. Standard green versus tan. It's going to be a standard Milsim, 2 large forces. The difference is going to be is that instead of having our evos like we typically do, I believe we're running from 11 to 5:30, right? Or 10:30 to
Uh,
5:30.
I think it's like 10:30 to 5:30. I'm not sure. I think
We
we have to
don't
decide on how long it's going to take us to get things rolling. I think it's 10:30 soft, 11:30 hard.
we don't have an actual time schedule up because it's going to be November. We have to also make sure that the time frame comes into play. Um, so it's going to be much different to what you guys are had before, with the syndicate games where you had set evos. This one's going to be continuous, so the fighting is going to be continuous, so you should lose less people. There will be a night game, and the night game will count for points depending on how many players are, depends on what buildings are being used for the night game. All right, and the night game, I believe, if it got dark at, like, I think it was from 7 to 9, I believe was what the night game was being planned for. Jay, shut up. $10 discount. Oh no, bud. Not like I won't make it up to you later on. Just feel sorry for everybody taller than me. Back problems. Um, our guy Rush is taller than your guy. Too tall.
Dude, too tall. Like he was he stepped up last Bad Blood and was an embed for me, and he get stuck with a pool noodle because you could literally see him from almost anywhere on the field waving that damn pool noodle.
Yeah, it's a $10 difference, sir. But when it comes to Scorched Earth, um, we haven't come up with the exact storyline of what it is yet, of why the armies are fighting. But half you guys don't care about the storyline anyway. You just want to know about the the meats and potatoes. All right. The
I
battle
still
bus.
want it to be they're fighting over the last blockbuster.
Fuddruckers. But I'll be saving pennies for that sweet high octane. That's why I
Hey man,
haven't.
gas prices are actually coming down. I don't
Shut up.
know if it affects you guys in Florida. Sheets? Do you guys have Florida sheets in Florida?
No, it's not in Florida. We have
So
other.
they're
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
What
they
sheets
just
are.
dropped all their prices to $3.99.
Nice. Congrats for you
Yeah,
guys. Um, but when it comes down to the gameplay and everything else, all standard Milsim rules apply. So a lot of the same rules from Syndicate are carrying over. We are going to allow for prisoners to be taken. Nikolai will be on there. The battle of the blockbuster. Nikolai will be a takeable objective again. So for those that you know. The changes we're making from Syndicate to Scorched Earth, and we are going to be making sure that the safety brief explains full and in detail what is and is not allowed with taking prisoners, especially when it comes to Nikolai. If you have 8 or 9 EG-67s hanging off your kit and you're within arm reach of Nikolai, you might lose one to Nikolai. It's keep you guys more aware of your the situation, especially when you guys are taking prisoners, especially when you guys go to pat down Nikolai. Anytime that he comes walking up to somebody, it might be a good idea just to shoot him, just to take him down, so that way he can be captured or ensured that everything's okay. Because Nikolai's a sneaky little bastard. I believe the battle bus will be a takeable objective on the field. We're still coming up with like I said, we're still coming up with all the rule sets on that. But there will be a reason to go fight for the battle bus. It's you guys are going to want it, is what we're trying to say. So it's again going to be another one of those fun, engaging things. There's no camping on the AO, but you can camp in the parking lot per normal. Like we normally have you guys do. So that'll be fine. And it's going to be a November event. So What I would tell everybody right now, while we're sitting here at June 30th, be prepared for cold weather. All right. Last year, if we were there the week earlier, it was 70 degrees during the day and in the 50s at night. The very next week, the week we were there, 22 degrees at night, 35 degrees during the day, and it started to frickin' snow. Cold as balls, correct. So just be prepared, bring the proper
I mean,
stuff.
personally, I always pack hot weather gear and cold weather gear, even though I may not need one or the other. You can't. All right, you diva. Brainerd.
Yeah, but Brainerd, for Geigerlands, you can camp out in the cells. So is it really camping or is it just one giant dorm? Who knows? So for Scorched Earth, I mean, all standard weapons there. There's no no ammo limitations or anything else like that. There'll be control boxes that you guys can capture and everything else to score points. There's going to be some other objectives out there. Sorry, guys, no. Yeah. None of the stuff that I'll get in trouble for, that I'll get in trouble at the McDonald's for again. But there's going to be some other stuff there. There's going to be laptops that you guys can capture. There's going to be intel sheets you guys can get, and all that cool stuff as well. So there's going to be all that stuff's going to be scattered around that you guys can collect and bring in. So that's what we're going to be saying about for Scorched Earth. Those tickets are also on sale. Do we have to? No. Sorry.
Oh, speaking of which, you're talking about, because we were talking about admin and stuff, I thought I would bring this up because it's kind of a pet peeve for me. On the field calls by admin, we had it at Bad Blood when we had to stop smoke and pyro for a while. We had it at Syndicate when we had to stop pyro. Those calls are made for on-field safety reasons. I get it. You're upset. You spent the metric crap ton on pyro, Jay. Those calls are made for a safety reason. Coming and complaining to us about them after the fact just makes you look like you don't give a shit about everybody else. I'm saying if we call no smoke, we call no pyro, there's legitimate reason. Syndicate, I mean, we had how many fires break out before we made the call?
Five. And two of them were serious.
Yeah, and I still had people complaining to me that they couldn't use their pyro. The one guy looked at him and said, "Are you a certified firefighter?" And he went, "No," and I went, "Then no." What do you want?
So if you guys want to go ahead and jump in on the Scorched Earth tickets, that's the link to Scorched Earth with another lovely $10 thing. So it's different from the Geigerlands one. Same code, different links. Consistency. Yeah, so if we make a decision to take something out of play or off the field, it's because we're doing it for safety reasons. Gabe actually from MK Airsoft actually had a really good video showing the fire that spread and how fast it was spreading. There's 10 guys trying to stomp this fire out, and it's still spreading. Luckily, somebody found a big piece of plastic and just started smacking the plastic.
They beat the crap out of plexiglass.
Yeah, and that was able to work. I'm until Jay has back to the grenades for Jay.
That's why he drives the Escalade. It actually takes up the entire back of his truck.
It is ridiculous how much pyro that Jay goes through, and I can't wait to see how many guys of his own team that he kills for Scorched Earth. I have a feeling that for Syndicate 3, that Sids is going to get a trophy made Cartel MVP and just put Jay Rodriguez on it.
That's what no, it's not going to be on me for Syndicate 3. Remember, I'm not the CEO anymore.
Yeah, you can still do it.
I can still do it.
Patrick, how you doing? What's up, brother? We're starting to wind this down because we only wanted to do about 2 hours tonight. This is actually a pretty good stream because we're talking about a lot of different things there. And all right, I'm getting another message coming in. You pull. Jay, am I wrong? No. Oh, hey, what's up, Patty? That's one of my new guys. All right.
But yeah, so we're going to be wrapping this up.
There'll be a
So if you
bigger
guys have any
statement.
questions,
When
sorry.
it comes to the rules, guys, from that other event and from our event, we'll be issuing a statement sometime soon. A more detailed statement. It's obvious that we have to do this because of how many messages and stuff we're getting. Those are our rules. They were taken without consent and used for his site. They were an alpha version of the rules. That's why you guys are like, well, this is weird, because they were our alpha set before it got changed for Syndicate. I didn't think I would have to go in detail with this, and we were trying to take a higher road on all this. We have nothing to do with that Exodus game in PA. Nothing at all. We won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. We're not going to be there. We're not giving any logistic support. We're not giving any creative support. Yeah, that's it. That's simple. Okay, so I understand that we have stuff to do. We will address it further later on if everybody could just be patient with it. That's the intellectual property, creative property. That's the creative property that was designed by that Christian Harris's name was all over that document. It's no longer there. It's sort of like, so you guys have seen a couple of the videos where I use other people's photos for my videos, like the ones that came from Primer Productions. That was for the last 2 videos I uploaded. I asked for permission and then cited where I got it from. So if you guys ever, even if you're content creators making airsoft videos, source everything. If you take somebody else's clip of their video from something that they're doing because you said, "Oh, this is a really badass move," like the Ass Blaster 3000, you take that clip. That's fine that you take. Well, it's sort of fine that you take the clip without permission. I mean, it's like not like I'm going to come up and like sue you into oblivion or anything. But there's always a thing that if you take something, especially if you haven't asked, that you at least cite the source. To cite it, to say, at this section of video, players wanted. Because if you're using that video and it's from somebody else, you should really give that channel credit for the work that they're doing. Same thing should be for anything. If you're taking somebody's writing credit, or if you've taken a rule or a mechanic for somebody else, I think you've already heard us say that that we're using a mass casualty event similar to Revelations at Balahack, because that's where we got the idea from, is a mass casualty event. Some of the merchant stuff we got from the Wasteland game down here in Florida from My Game Productions. We stayed all that. You should always give credit where credit's due for the stuff that you're using and everything else for your own game and to boost your own stuff up. If you don't cite it, or you intentionally take away people's names out of stuff, like if you take a picture and you crop out their watermark, that's a dick move. I appreciate that, Jay, but it's not players wanted. It's Big House Milsim. All right. Look, my games, I appreciate that. I really do. But now's the time where I'm actually going to be humble. My games aren't the best. My games are the games that I make is not also made by myself. Remember, there's an entire creative team behind it. These games would not be the way they are if it wasn't for Christian Harris, Marley Brock, Virtue, and Smurf. The Outcast guys. I'm just trying to think of everybody's name that I could possibly can to give them all proper credit.
It's a team effort.
It's a massive team effort. So I will never take sole credit for something. I mean, if I come up with an idea, I might joke around and say, "Oh yeah, that was my idea." But the reality is, what we do here is such a team effort. It's not funny. And most big event producers will tell you the same thing. You go to a Third Coast Airsoft game, and they're not going to say, "Well, I did this. This is Sal's game," or whatever. It's a team effort, because without the team, the games fail. And you need a solid team in place to make sure that happens. And I'll damn sure to make sure that every single person that is contributing to our games to the capacity that they are going to get the recognition that they deserve, because they should. I can tell you right now, if it wasn't for Smurf and for Sin, um, there would have been a point at Syndicate 2 where gates might not have opened at 1. I was in a particular mindset. They were able to overcome some of the stuff. If it wasn't for Christian going around and making sure all objectives were in place and everything else, you guys would not have had the stuff to go after. So it really is a collective effort when you do these things. Nobody should be sitting idle and not really doing anything. Everybody has a job to do when they're out there, you know. Um, exactly. We put a lot of time and effort into our organizational back end and making sure our rules are solid, and we do a lot of stuff to make sure that it's because we're all players first. We are players first. We know what players are looking for and want. Now, at the same time, we're not arrogant to think that there's not stuff that we can improve upon. That's why we always ask for input and everything else. What worked? What didn't work? What do you want us to tweak? Because there's some stuff we're not removing, like the prisoner aspect. We're not removing it. It's a great addition, and it really helps the flow of the games. For what most players might not see firsthand in front of them, we see it as admins. Um, so um, you were not happy, my dude. What do you mean? Like I'm not
You
happy
were
right
not
now?
happy.
No, there was,
No,
and
he's
there's
talking about.
yeah, there was valid stuff, and I mean, eventually, I'm just gonna lay it all out there for people to do. But we're trying to stay. I mean, really, you have to try to stay positive and just move forward. If we didn't move forward, I could harp on all the shit that's happened bad from the first event till now, but we're not going to do that. Um, I just want to make sure that everybody on the team gets the recognition that they deserve for the work that they're doing across the board because we are putting in a whole lot of effort to make sure you guys are having a good time. And if there's something that we need to add or change, send it our way. Don't get upset if we don't incorporate it the way you want it to, or if we don't incorporate it at all, or if we don't change, or if we keep something that you really hate. We have more than just one or two people that we're looking at when it comes down to our games. We have the last game we had quite a few people that were there, and we had very few complaints in return.
And for the
So
record, it's we look at everything you guys send us. Like Joker's literally called me in the middle of the day and going, "Hey, look at this," and we picked it apart. We poked other people, going, "Hey, this what can we do with this? Can we do anything with this?"
yeah,
So it's not like we're ignoring you.
no, we're not. It's like when people said, "Well, uh, Nikolai was too forceful." Nikolai grabbed my gun. I was like, "Okay," and then we said, I was like, "But I told you all I was going to be doing that." He goes, "It wasn't in my safety brief." Did I give the safety brief? No, it was okay. We saw where the problem was. When there was miscommunication of the rules, we identified every single problem was. So what happens for the next safety briefs that we do is we're going to have essentially a script that's going to have to read off. People complained that the safety brief took too long. Well, it's one thing to say, have you read the safety brief and go over bulleted points of stuff? But the reality that comes out of that is a lot of people don't retain most of the information. At least if I was there, I remember a lot of faces. I could say, well, I told you at my safety brief, or Sin told you at his safety brief. This is what was going to happen because it's right here in the rules. And we did make a change with a couple of changes that was on the fly, like the prisoner rule set never got in, and that's my fault because it never got as one of the head people that was in charge of making sure shit was set. That was never entered into the rules and never updated to the website. Which is again, I took responsibility for that, but I was so careful to explain the prisoner aspect of it, which is why the safety briefs took longer. Now, in retrospect, we also took out things like being able to use like the bus went from targetable objective or targetable with grenades and all that to save your pyro. Two reasons. One, safety, and the bus was just going to be doing airdrops anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. We weren't going to be hovering for very long, so nobody was really going to get shot up like they were in Syndicate 1. And two, tagging's in short supply. We're saving it. We're having you guys save your pyro for an event where it would really matter. So it was a dual thing. Um, it's just too much, Jay, for the size of an event that is there. If we had open play games there, I could see, but it doesn't work like that for games. I've been to a couple of big games where that's happened, and it's turned into a cluster real quick. Some people don't have the other stuff to do it with. So, um, I mean, I wouldn't be against doing some other creative ways of like say, hey, pre-insertions and everything else. I mean, there's stuff that we can do to spice things up. We have a list of stuff that we can do, but at this point in time, we just want to make sure that that the games are set up and solid for what we're doing at this location, so we can continue to doing them for the future. All right. So we have two really great events planned to finish out this year. It still wouldn't work, Jay. People would be pissed off if they showed up and they had weapons restrictions. People are pissed off when we have a restriction about SMGs can't go full auto indoors. So anytime that you restrict a player's ability to use what they want to use, you run into roadblocks. You run into hard heads, and we don't want that. So that begs for a secret pistol minigame. Whole cans are harder to find than I thought. Oh, they're not on Amazon?
Hold on. All cans. Bro, they're on Amazon. There's like 13 different ones that just popped up on Amazon.
Yeah, there they are. They're like $25.
Do they have plushy Hall cans? They've got the sound effect Hall cans.
Oh,
wow, I'm not even going to explain what that one looks like.
I think it's to see the one you're talking about.
There's Hall cans on Amazon.
Yeah. I don't know how. There we go. Yeah, like your shields. Shields aren't allowed there because of the reasons that we already said.
Dude, speaking of shields, to end this on a high note, did you see Captain America at Bad Blood?
I shot a shield.
Dude, that was awesome.
It was. That shield was actually, as we're walking to our respawn, it's like, pating, pating, pating. He got shot so much in his shield just walking to our spawn for the start of the game. Also need not kid size. There's some there. Oh, hold on. I just saw this here. Oh, he's right. Those are
Hall cans for adults. Hey, look, there's a search category. Bam, adult sizes. Improve your Amazon foo.
Oh, Brainerd. Man, I missed you.
Will my shield be allowed at Geigerlands?
Who said that? Jay?
Yeah.
No riot shields, Jay. The fact that it was tan made mad props. I love that.
Yeah, he even put the logo in on his gear. Like the kid nailed it. I actually was talking to him at Chrono and I made a joke and he looks at me and he goes, "I get that reference," and I just lost it.
I'm about to have to take you up on that, Smurf. So with that being said, guys, check out the games that we have coming up. The prison games. I'm telling you, dude. Look, we're not going to make exceptions because if all of a sudden, and it goes back to, I'll give a perfect example. It goes to Bad Blood. At Bad Blood, they made a decision to allow a minigun on the field. Even though it was a low ROF, low FPS, they still allow it on the field. What happened? I could tell you every hour on the hour, another radio call came in. Hey, we got guys complaining that there's a minigun on the field. They're not supposed to be on the field. Every hour on the hour it happened. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm not trying to be an a-hole. But the reality that comes down the line is that If we make exceptions, they said, oh, there's a lot of Geigerlands, and then we have to fight against it. Um, like somebody said for Syndicate 1, well, there was a riot shield at Syndicate 1. No, it was never supposed to be allowed on the field. A certain someone who is no longer allowed to be on at the field at Geigerlands, um, uh, or at the field, allowed him to come on the field, thinking it was going to snip by. But then you have Virtue and myself right there in the middle of, within the first 5 minutes of game, the shield became instantly toxic. I feel your pain, Jay. There are some events that allow it. I think some TCA events allow it. I think some AMS allows them, but we just don't want to run the risk that goes down with it. It's just like, well, somebody said, well, other events allow SMGs to go full auto, and then the one guy said, well, you guys allowed full auto at Syndicate 1. I was like, we never allowed full auto indoors at Syndicate 1. Now, at Lockdown, there was some full auto usage, and that's why it went into place, because you walk downstairs and before you even have a chance to put a dead light on or dead rag or anything else. So, yeah. Really, Jay? You don't say. What type of minigun is it? So
That's Brainerd.
Yeah. Oh, did I say Jay?
Yeah.
I get that, Jay. I understand what you're saying, but if you trip with that on the AO and you go forward and there's somebody smaller in front of you, and you then crush them with your 80-pound shield and your 250-pound plus self, then what? I'm sorry, maybe you're not that big. I'd say 200 plus pound self. You now have almost 300 pounds landing on top of somebody that's right in front of you because you tripped, and there's very little control that you guys can have.
Yeah, even worse if you drop that on somebody else's foot when you're not looking.
Mm-hmm. So
they just became toxic. They just became toxic on the field because when you go indoors, they become invincibility in a hallway.
Mm-hmm. You have so many people that do that shit, and it's a shame. Like we just had one, like somebody bitched and moaned because Damien had one on his thing. I was like, well, the kid's in a wheelchair. There's a little bit different story. It's there to protect him, not so much as him hiding behind it. He's a juggernaut anyway. If I trip, my fat ass is still true. You are a problem, but you don't have 80 pounds of solid metal there. Your fat ass is squishy. So you wouldn't necessarily...
You're 80 pounds lighter without the shield.
Yeah. Feet and grenades.
That's why he wants the shield. He just wants to protect himself from his own grenades. Classic Army microgun.
That's already been HPA'd. We could talk, Brainerd.
And those are great for vehicle mounting.
Exactly. A vehicle that has tracks on it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if we get the things and Damien could just go?
No, the problem still applies. It's the fact that it's in tight corridors. You can literally block an entire hallway. You cause a safety issue because your team can't move past you, and the other team can't get rid of it, short of lobbing a bunch of grenades in, which creates another problem.
Yeah, like. Look, I don't really have an issue with grenades. I have an issue with overuse of grenades in a very short period of time because I'm looking out for player health. Like your perspective changes really quick when somebody throws 11 grenades at you at once in a small ass room. Your perspective changes immensely about them being used in there. Well, I mean, look, sometimes people do because they don't think when they're doing it. I don't need 4 MK46s. I don't have a problem with Jay. Yeah. So, all right, guys. We went a little bit over than what we expected to because we didn't really want these ones to last like 3 hours. Both of us got stuff that we got to do tonight. So, with that being said, check out the events that we have coming up. We really love to see you guys at the events, and we're gonna have a good old time. Uh, especially with Geigerlands and everything else. So, unless you all have any other questions, we're gonna go. Can I put a recoil in an HPA rifle? Probably not.
Yes, but it's going to be way too expensive and pointless.
You're talking about the Daytonas, right?
Yep. There's actually
Yeah.
another kit that adds recoil to Wolverine. I think it's the Quake shock system,
Yeah.
but it's kind of pointless. The whole point of going HPA is to go lightweight and fast, and you're adding a weight to the back of your gun.
Yeah. Remember, go light, guys.
So
because
yes, you can do it. Would I? No.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Recoil is overrated. All right, guys. With that being said, we've gone way over here, and I'm getting messages that I need to respond to now as well. So, with that being said, our love is forever, Joker. I'm Joker from Big House Milsim. With me is the man with the mohawk, the king of the high cap of virtue with Big House Milsim. Until next time, may your BBs fly true and your opponents always call your hits.